Good morning and welcome back. Switching from deeper technical information, we want to talk about technical information that helps increase diversity among our cybersecurity forces. I'm joined by Lynn Dohm, the Executive Director at Women in Cybersecurity, also affectionately referred to as WiCyS,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Like sister. Lynn, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
And especially because you're on your way to give a talk here at Black Hat, right?
Yes, I am. Yes. So it's a fun, exciting day. So it's a great honor to be here with you and share this moment together. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so very much. So to start, will you please give us a synopsis of Women in Cybersecurity?
Sure. So Women in Cybersecurity, WiCyS, is a 501c3 member-based nonprofit with the mission to recruit, retain, and advance women in cybersecurity. So we're a member-based organization, so we have about 10,000 members with representation in 93 countries.
Wow.
In addition to that, we have 283 student chapters and all of their members. And in addition to that, we have 70 professional affiliates and all of their members. So professional affiliates are mini WiCyS organizations all around the world, throughout Africa, Australia, Canada, France, UK, Ireland, India, and all throughout the United States, Canada. So we have them around specific regions, corporations, or even around specialty areas or topics of focus. So each and every day we reach hundreds of thousands of individuals as we continue to move our mission forward and create that accessibility for more women to come into their careers, but also be retained. That's very important.
Huge.
And so that's a big focus of the organization right now is what is retention and what does advancement look like? Because we can keep recruiting all we want.
Correct.
But if we cannot retain women and underrepresented individuals and advance them, then we have bigger problems here. So we focus in all different areas on the pipeline and looking at what could possibly be the leaky pipe.
The most long-term supportive.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, with such a broad reach, when did WiCyS begin?
So we started as a conference back in 2014. Our founder, Dr. Ambereen Siraj, reached out to NSF and received some seed funding for a project. Because some data came out then that women represented 11% of the workforce. Well, quite honestly, she was surprised that it was even 11%.
Okay.
She wasn't seeing it in any of her circles of industry, academia, or government. And so she thought, if 11% of women in cybersecurity exist, let's bring them all together in a technical conference so we could learn and grow together. So lo and behold, the community was formed and that conference continued to grow. Oh. And in 2018, that's when we became a nonprofit. So the data now shows that women represent roughly 20 to 24% of the cybersecurity workforce. So we still have a lot of work to do, but we're seeing a little bit of progress. The needle has shifted ever so slightly. So that's a positive.
Well, it is shifting, and I feel that, so for me personally, my prior career was construction engineering, and it was 3% female. No matter what arena I was in, It was always 3% female. And one thing I really have valued about switching to information security, cybersecurity focused communities was because, this is my take, that because it's a younger career choice, or it's a younger industry, and you have so many very intelligent and mission-driven individuals that work toward securing organizations and individuals, that it was a much more accepting space, but also felt like there was always a lot more maneuverability within this than it was like with construction engineering.
Right. I could imagine. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, because it's fast-paced, it's ever-evolving, everything is new, fresh, learning new experiences, and for some, it's a trendy career choice. They kind of want to get into that cybersecurity hacker space, and so you're right. It does have that kind of, generational pull of so many individuals that want to come into this space, so which is really positive. And the good thing is that we see a lot of leaders continuing to have the conversation of what does effective cybersecurity teams look like, and a lot of that focuses around on hiring for that diversity of thought and making sure that you have all those diverse perspectives and alternative opinions as part of effective cybersecurity team building within the workforce. So it's, I'm really grateful to be pulled into those conversations, to be able to share the information that we have as a nonprofit to those executives.
And on that, are there specific points that you really enjoy bringing out, not just on the diversity of thought perhaps, but for the SecOps teams, if they are looking to perhaps partner with or get information from WiCyS, or they really want to expand their ability to retain women, do you have examples? Do you have data that you have seen even in the last 10 years or so then that allows a security operations team who is predominantly male to more quickly adapt to enhancing the ability of women to be on their team?
Yes, so that has been an area of focus of ours because we didn't find any useful data to us that we could, as a nonprofit, utilize and mobilize to our employer partners. So last year we partnered with Illyria, and we did some research on what is the state of inclusion for women in cybersecurity. And we wanted to really narrow our focus on what is the actual areas, like what is the landscape of inclusion, what is that retention. And it is important for folks because we oftentimes say like the lack of diversity is a symptom of the lack of inclusion. You lay the foundation of inclusion and diversity will expand. And so when we're all talking about diversifying the workforce, it's peeling back the layers, taking a step back and really understanding what am I working with right now? And is it an inclusive space? Is this a welcoming space and one where career growth and advancement can be achieved for underrepresented individuals when you're growing your team members? And so the State of Inclusion Benchmark report that WiCyS produced last year really quantified the experiences of exclusion to identify the state of inclusion for women in cybersecurity. And so for those that are seeking on growing and expanding their teams right now, first understand how does your team exist, the culture of your team, and utilize the tools that we have produced as a tool to kind of gain a better understanding. So there's a 5-page executive summary on our website now. Okay. And I'm always open to any executive to have the conversation with them as well if they want to, talk more about drilling down the details of the data that we were able to produce. But that is a good launching pad. Start with the data and then work your way up from there, and always know that inclusion comes before, the growth of diverse talent.
And so aside from the human factor of just genuinely wanting to be inclusive and allowing everybody to be at the table, it makes me think, again, my prior career in construction. Yeah. And there were very particular individual case studies, but also research that was done and things that we found on the large construction teams and even on the trades. So working in the blue-collar jobs in the trades, that if a woman, no matter how much she knew, not saying she was not trained, but no matter how much she knew, if she was placed on a team, those teams on average had a 30% increase in productivity. That was found kind of across the board. And back then I thought it was kind of funny because the guys would say, well, yeah, because I don't want to be shown up by a woman.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
It increased that.
Yeah.
Conversely, really what was found in a large portion of it was that the inherent skills and assimilation of information to facilitate things within the team with a woman who had some knowledge was really what boosted the productivity day by day.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's wonderful. That's wonderful data to have and share. And, and there's so many different researchers and reports that are also sharing similar information just like that. So that's great.
So I think all of those go down to the bottom line. We're not just talking about complete inclusion of people who may need a different approach to understanding or be feeling like they're part of the team or being heard. But also, it really does help the bottom line.
Right, it really does. And Illyria actually has an inclusion calculator on their website where it says, like, when you diversify your teams, when you're bringing all the diverse perspectives, and it's not only gender, it's identities, ethnicities, cultures, backgrounds, experiences, and more. It's everyone, that it will show how it affects the bottom line in dollar amounts. And I always find that's really interesting because a lot of folks like to see what's the impact on the money? They want to look at the bottom line and how is it impacting my organization? And so we could have a whole separate type of discussion.
It's fascinating.
On that. Yeah.
But I mean, that also helped me as a woman to go like, oh, I do value, I do bring value. There is a whole lot more here.
Yes.
It's very comforting,
Yeah.
I think, for as being a woman who is not in a female-dominated area.
Mm-hmm.
I got to speak with Michelle, and I don't recall her position within
Deputy director.
She's the deputy director. Yes. Okay. I've got to speak with her Monday at the Diana Initiative, which is a smaller conference. It's a nonprofit specific to enhancing underrepresented individuals in cybersecurity. And I am curious. I think it's fantastic that you partner with Diana Initiative.
Yes.
But can you tell me more about other partnerships or that one in particular and what you have found to be the most effective and what has brought you joy about it?
Well, partnering with all nonprofits that are in this space, it's all about amplifying our messaging, our collective voices. And so the Diana Initiative is just an incredible conference experience that everyone loves and adores in the space. And last year was the first year that we actually had representation at the conference. We've always had WiCyS members going there and presenting and talking about it. But to be actually there and to be able to part of the energy and the spirit of what that conference is all about is really important for us as an organization. And then we lean on each other's strengths. Diana Initiative has an incredible conference that everyone goes to. And we have other different opportunities within the WiCyS organization that will also be able to benefit and level up individuals that are attending Diana Initiative in other ways as well. So it's about supporting the structure that's already in place and making sure that us as peers are working collectively to drive one another's missions forward. So Diana is a big part of that. So, and we partner with other nonprofits too, Cybersecurity, Black Girls Hack, there's Girls Who Code.
Yes.
So many other organizations. I mean, the list goes on and on and on that we partner with. And we work with them in a community collaborative space. And it's really just beneficial just to get all of our messages collectively moved forward.
That makes me think of even the theme for Diana Initiative this year was Lift While You Climb.
Oh, yes. Love it. Yes.
So bringing everybody together. What is it? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
Right?
That's great.
We can do that. So for WiCyS, speaking to our beautiful audience out there, what are things that WiCyS needs in order to advance your objectives?
So right now, we offer so much. Not only do we still have our conference, that's really important to us and important to the community to have that in-person experience and event, but we also have skill development training programs. Our mentor-mentee program had 1,600 enrolled in it, and we designed and developed that curriculum. We have leadership series, leadership summits, internships, apprenticeships, a job board, speaking and media opportunities, because we know it's hard to be what you cannot see. But right now we have this unique ecosystem of employer partners. We have over 60 strategic partners that come into the collective space together. We meet every other month, and it is this ecosystem of those that are investing in the industry itself, because they realize that WiCyS exists because we're at a critical workforce shortage. With almost 4 million unfilled jobs around the world right now, we need to be able to invest in the industry so that gap doesn't get any bigger, and that investment needs to be made now. And so what we need now is more diverse voices from other employers in that space, in that strategic partnership and those meetings. And so when we identify gaps, we lean heavily on our partners on making sure that our programming efforts are not only bridging that gap for our community members who we're listening to, but that we're intentional on building the programs that also align with the goals and the objectives of our employer partners. Because what good is it if we're not connecting the dots? We need to connect our dots of our community to our employer partners and make sure that we're creating that mobility so that they could, so women could, advance and elevate in their career. And so that's what's also really unique about WiCyS is we're not a women's only organization. We're a community of women, men, non-binary individuals, allies, advocates that are all stepping into this space because they're concerned about the cybersecurity workforce shortage. And so, coming into it from that partnership level and being a part of the ecosystem to talk about it in a strategic way is really such a need for us, and it will always continue to be. As we continue to mature, we're only going to need more of that, more mature voices in this space. So,
And do you have a need for volunteers or for sponsors, other items like that?
Yes, well, we always are looking for sponsors for our conference. Last year we had about 120 conference sponsors, and then a premier supporters of our big security training scholarship program. Right now we have the Center for Internet Security as a premier supporter. We have Bloomberg, Craig Newmark Philanthropies funded a veteran track and a military spouse track for us. And so we're looking always at how could we grow this incredibly impactful program, because we're now 4 years in with great data where we're taking women from zero cybersecurity not only into advanced SANS certification but career placement services in less than a year and a half. So we're transforming lives. I mean, individuals that would never have seen themselves in cyber are now in these lucrative careers, and we're following them through their promotions and their advancements. And we ask them what would, like, for example, Christine Morrissey, she's an incredible scholarship recipient from 2020. We just did an interview with her, and she was asked, what would the Christine of today, or of 2020, think of the Christina today? And she was like, she would have never believed it. Because going from non-technical, physical therapy, just kind of blah with her career at that very moment, looking for something different to change, really wanted to utilize other skill sets, learning and becoming super technical in, and then advancing in her career completely. It's been transformative for so many women. And those are the stories we hear each and every day, and that's what drives us to continue doing what we do.
That is beautiful. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So if you can't stick around for the rest of the live stream, please go ahead and check out securityweekly.com/Black Hat to find all of our Black Hat coverage by Cyber Risk Alliance. And for those who want more information on women in cybersecurity, where should they look?
They should go to WiCyS.org, so WiCyS.org.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.